Imagine you are locked inside a descent capsule, plummeting blindly through a thick, sickly orange smog. The warning klaxons are blaring, but the sound is muffled by the suffocating density of the alien atmosphere pressing in against the hull. You wipe the condensation from your viewport, but there are no stars. There is no sun. There is only an impenetrable amber void swallowing you whole. You brace for impact, desperately scanning the radar for solid ground, but the readings make no sense. The altimeter screams that you are miles above the surface, yet the drag on your ship feels like you are already plunging through an ocean. And as the sickly orange haze finally parts to reveal the sprawling, shadowed landscape below, you realize with absolute, sickening certainty, you are about to drown on a world that has no water. From millions of miles away, through the cold lenses of our space probes, Saturn's largest moon looks like a miracle. It is the only moon in our solar system with a thick, robust atmosphere. It has weather. It has clouds. From orbit, you can see sprawling river networks carving deep canyons through valleys, vast seas shimmering near the poles, and towering sand dunes sweeping across the equator. It looks remarkably, beautifully like Earth. It feels like a promise, a second home waiting in the dark. You might even feel a surge of hope, a desperate belief that in this cold, indifferent solar system, humanity has finally found a sanctuary. But something is wrong. As you step out of your lander and your heavy boots touch the soil, the illusion of Earth violently shatters. The sky above you is not a comforting blue. It is a bruised, oppressive mustard yellow. The rivers flowing silently in the distance are not carrying life-giving water. They are churning rivers of liquid methane and ethane. The dirt beneath your boots isn't dirt at all. It is a toxic cocktail of organic smog particles that have rained down from the sky over billions of years. You have not landed on a sanctuary. You have landed on a primordial nightmare, a highly flammable, deep frozen wasteland that perfectly mimics the shape of Earth while corrupting everything that makes it survivable. But here's the problem. The toxic rivers aren't what hits you first. The very air of Titan is actively trying to destroy you. The atmosphere is significantly thicker and heavier than Earth's, pressing down on your fragile suit with a suffocating, crushing weight. Every movement you make feels sluggish, as if you are trying to sprint through wet cement. Yet, the gravity pulling you down is incredibly weak, barely a seventh of what you feel at home. You are heavy and weightless at the exact same time, trapped in a disorienting, nauseating state of sensory contradiction that makes your head spin and your stomach heave. But the weight of the air is absolutely nothing compared to its temperature. Titan rests at a staggering 290 degrees below zero. This is a cold so profound, so absolute, that it literally stops the vibration of atoms. On Earth, water freezes into ice cubes. On Titan, water is so deeply frozen that it acts like solid bedrock. The jagged, towering mountains looming in the haze around you are made of rock-hard, super-chilled water ice. If the microscopic heaters in your suit were to fail for even a fraction of a second, you wouldn't just freeze to death. Your blood would crystallize instantly. Your tissues would shatter like porcelain. You would be snapped into a terrifying, eternal statue, perfectly preserved in the exact moment of your agonizing death. But it gets worse. You look up into the hazy, bruised sky and you feel a heavy drop hit your visor. It is raining. But this is not the refreshing, cleansing rain of our home planet. On Titan, the weather cycle is driven entirely by liquid natural gas. A methane storm is brewing above you, with droplets the size of marbles falling with a terrifying, agonizing slowness due to the low gravity and thick atmosphere. They drift down like toxic snow, splattering against your suit in slow motion. When the European Space Agency dropped the Huygens probe onto Titan in 2005, it didn't land on solid rock. It hit the ground with a dull thud and sank slightly into a dark, spongy crust. You are standing on a landscape made of frozen hydrocarbon sludge. Every step you take squishes into a soft, sticky mud made of chemicals that on Earth are used to fuel blowtorches and industrial rockets. You are wading through a literal ocean of lighter fluid, chilled to a temperature that thoroughly breaks human biology. And this is where things change. Because the ground you are walking on is a trap. You desperately trudge toward the edge of a massive, dark expanse. You have reached the shore of the Kraken Mare, a sprawling, pitch-black sea of liquid methane larger than the Caspian Sea. There are no crashing waves here. The thick, oily liquid is unnervingly still, creating a perfect, dark mirror reflecting the sickly amber sky. The silence is maddening. You are standing on the edge of an alien ocean, and the urge to step back is primal, screaming loudly in your DNA. Beneath that smooth, oily surface lies absolute darkness. Scientists have bounced radar into these seas and found they drop hundreds of feet into the abyss. But what lurks at the bottom? The chemistry of Titan is a bizarre alien alchemy. In this freezing chemical soup, complex organic molecules are constantly churning, reacting, and sinking into the dark. It is a primordial cauldron of the unknown. If the edge of the ice gives way and you slip into the dark, oily water, you will not swim. The liquid methane is far less dense than water, meaning your heavy suit will drop like an anvil. You will sink terrifyingly fast into the pitch-black depths, surrounded by a toxic ocean that is completely blind to your frantic, thrashing struggles. But that's not even the worst part. The true horror isn't drowning in the dark. The ultimate horror is what happens to your body. If your suit buckles under the pressure at the bottom of the methane sea, the liquid will violently rush in. The extreme cold will instantly flash freeze your biology, but the toxic soup of hydrocarbons will begin to interact with your carbon-based flesh. You will not simply decompose like a body on Earth. You will be chemically dismantled. Your organic matter will be broken down and aggressively integrated into the alien sludge at the bottom of the mare. The atoms that made up your heart, your memories, and your humanity will be swept up into Titan's bizarre weather cycle. You will be evaporated into the thick amber clouds. You will fall back down as slow-moving methane rain. You will cease to be human entirely, becoming a permanent, microscopic part of a toxic, frozen hellscape. The universe was never meant for us. We look up at the night sky and tell ourselves stories of exploration. We gaze through massive telescopes, hunting for worlds with clouds and rivers, desperately projecting our own reflection onto the cold void. We want so badly to believe that there is another Earth out there, waiting to catch us when we fall. But the infinite does not care about our homesickness. Titan is a breathtaking, swirling masterpiece of organic chemistry. But it is also a perfect mirror of our own fragility. It is a world that wears the comforting mask of Earth, rivers, rain, and seas, only to violently reject everything that Earth gave birth to. It is a monument to the absolute hostility of the cosmos, a place where the familiar becomes fatal, and where the elements act with brutal, uncaring efficiency. It does not hate us. It does not want to destroy us. It simply exists on a scale so ancient and alien that our survival is fundamentally incompatible with its presence. We are fragile, delicate creatures, clinging to a tiny, warm rock, perfectly calibrated to keep our blood flowing and our lungs breathing. Beyond our thin blue atmosphere lies a dark, violent, and indifferent universe filled with imposters. And the most terrifying of all is a world that looks exactly like home, spinning silently in the toxic dark, waiting for nothing and dissolving